Time to go on a grand board game adventure. Hey, I'm Will. This is Cardboard Minute. It's a board game channel where we like to play board games. Usually solo, sometimes with friends, and we love doing in-depth reviews to really look at the details of what makes the game work, as well as what might be important to you when you're deciding whether you want to get a game or not. I like to really break things down so we get a good feel for a game and what might be important. I'm going to be doing a full solo playthrough of Vantage. Now, this is a very sandboxy, adventure, almost RPG style game created by Stegmaeir Games and Jamey Stegmaeir. And apparently this is a game that he's been working on for a number of years, and there is an absolute ton of content in the box. It is a very open world. You have some loose guidance of what you should be doing, and which is like from a long list of stuff. There's a whole bunch of books of entries to read. I will be using the app from RulePop. I guess it's not an app, it's a website. It's free. And if you're playing solo, I highly recommend it because it will speed up the reading the book thing, and you won't accidentally reveal spoilers to yourself because, if you're a multiplayer, you'd have someone else read the book too. But here, the website will kind of hide results so that you can, you have to make a decision first before, you see what's going to happen. It just speeds things up too. I'll be using it during this playthrough. Just so it speeds up the game as well. I will be only playing to probably a normal win state, assuming I can actually win. Not to an epic win state, because there is optional epic versions that you can complete after your normal win. Mainly because those are usually exceptionally long, and I want to get there. Obviously, there will be absolutely a ton of spoilers. So if you do not want to see spoilers, please follow the timestamps to the end, where I will give my review. Otherwise, if you watch while I play, you will get a good feel for how the game works. The rules are not very complicated, but there are some hidden things in there, like spoiler packs and stuff that have some things that we may or may not come across. Also, I should note before we get started that there is a errata pack that you can get for like $1 on the Stegmaeir Games website, plus shipping. And there's 16 standard cards, 3 large, and a couple sticker sheets that fix a whole bunch of entries. So, doesn't cost much. If you own the game, go and grab it. I'm assuming future printings probably will need it. And it'll take you a few minutes to kind of get things set up. So, let us begin and take a look at what we're doing in the game. So here we have the kind of main board to track your health, your time, and your morale, I guess it is. And then there's 8 dice plus 2 per player that is available for doing challenges. Challenges, you will essentially always win a challenge, but you don't necessarily know how you're going to win, and you always have to mitigate the results of the dice afterwards. As the dice get used, you have a chance to allocate them to protect yourself, and failing to do that, you will lose the stats. If anything reaches 0, you win the game. So before we get too deep, it's better if we just kind of dive in because there's not much to show you until we have something on the board here. So you always start off your mission with map 0, which is literally on your ship, and see there's a whole bunch of options down the side, and just follow through the steps. It says, weeks after receiving a mysterious signal from the Traveler, who we don't know who it is yet, your ship arrives in orbit of an uncharted planet. Create the total challenge dice pool of 8 dice plus 2 per player. So, kind of walks you through the setup as well. Each player gains a different skill, select or randomize, and its matching character card. So, we're going to roll and go random this time. Orange. So, card 1437. And you will be doing a lot of card digging. Character card, matching skill. So, I also get a orange token. Place a card in the middle of your grid and gain its 1 place benefits. So you will be building a 3x3 grid of cards throughout the game. That is essentially what you have on you right now. So it could be things around you or on you or accessible to you. And each card takes up a slot in that grid unless it says otherwise. And all those things are active. You can have essentially some set aside cards, and there's some rules for how to re-equip those. So for this game, I am playing as Emilian the Scholar, and so when placed, I gain 2 cubes. Cubes are just generic tracking cubes, and they always go on the card that says that they gain them. I can always choose to spend 2 cubes to gain a credit or coin or whatever, or a travel action. And I can also choose to spend a cube to re-roll one of your challenge dice and gain an orange skill if the result is unchanged, or transfer a reserved card into your grid. So this is how you get a card that's set aside. He has some of his own abilities on here. So he's got Master, Buy, and Equip on the side of those. So essentially how it works is that whenever you want to do one of those actions, so you do 1 action per turn. If you're playing multiple players, you would pick the color of the book corresponding with that thing and look up the number of the card that has the action. So for example, if I wanted to master, I would look at the Look storybook and flip to page 1437. Or in the app, do it that way. Next, place a card in the middle of your grid and gain its 1 place benefit. Done that. Each player sets trackers matching their color to, I'm just going to pick red because I'm always red. I'm going to start off at the daring difficulty level. See how it goes. The first player gains 2 skills at random and places the matching mission. So 2 skills. We're going to roll in double yellow. Now they recommend not rolling doubles for first play. We're going to take an easier one. So I have blue-green. Blue-green. So I've got a few skills here. And then we'll look at the matching mission here. So blue-green is 1582. So that's essentially what I'll be trying to accomplish this game. So his mission is assemble a group of sentients. Searching the planet. It says have a total of at least 1 sentient, plus 1 per player. Oh, there's only 1. In grids or reserves. If you do, read 1582 in the Book of Secrets, which is another one of the books. There's also the ability to pivot, research, plead, and hone. And we'll set that in the mission slot on the board. It's not so much board, it's more of a card. Next, then everyone goes to location 001. Oh, where it's the back of the Book of Secrets. It says right there. All right, so the Book of Secrets is here, and it's, oh no, the ship malfunctions. You have mere seconds to escape. So each player gains a different skill, select or randomize, and places the matching location in the card holder. So let's put this over here and roll die. I should use my dice tray for this. Green. And take card 005. So these are a way to help kind of distribute stuff on the card. So this is going to be the first big leap into spoilers here. So, if you, like I said, if you don't want to get spoiled, you want to experience the game for yourself, skip to the end for the review. And so each player now has 2 skill tokens, and then the first player has 2 more. So there is the first location, essentially an overview. And we'll move this. And it says your escape pod seals tight, ejecting towards the planet in a completely different direction from the others. Gain 2 random skills and crash onto the matching location. So we're rolling again. Double greens. Again, I should avoid doubles, just for try to make the video a little faster. And blue-yellow. Getting a good variety of skill tokens here. And crash into the matching location. So blue, yellow is 349. Sorry about that. I just realized it was in the very front of the rulebook. There is included little divider cards that will help you to kind of keep your place in the bookmark. There's one for each player color, so you can stick those in so you know where to return the card when you're getting it back. It just helps speed up the game a little bit. So we're going to 205, which is here. There's like a flying bridge and something standing under it. It says, do you see the lotuses? So this is probably this character speaking. Do you see the lotuses growing to the left? They're scattered across this planet. You can see other wonders to the far south if you're willing to make the trek. Okay, here we'll get rid of this. It says keep it as a backdrop, so you can choose to keep the space view cards as a way to hide the backs of the cards, that when you have it in your holder, other players can't see it. I don't think it matters for this part of the game, since I have it face down in front. And what do I want to see? Well, first, I don't really fully know how to make friends. There is a sentient there, so that might be something I want to do. You only get to do one thing per card. So let's break down what the cards do. Top left is the number of the card. There is other numbers on the back. So if you are looking for a number, remember they're double-sided. If there is some sort of flavor text, look at and there'll be bottom left. Occasionally there are symbols that match a certain type. And then at the top right, you'll see a movement star, and that will have numbers in various directions. If there's no number, that means if you wish to travel in that direction, you have to use the blue action, which in this case is climb. You see there is one action for each of the 6 different colors. And they all have unique names, which might come back to certain tools and things you find, might only be usable for certain matching names. But the types overall are kind of related to the color. So purple is all about looking. The movement, of course, is depart. Red is overpower. There's the regular move is the move storybook. And then we have take is yellow, engage is orange, and help is green. Okay, so let's move on now. I messed up the blue thing. If you want to move to one of the stars, you look up the card number in the move storybook. In the depart storybook. Otherwise, you do the action like climb on the move storybook. I want to get some friends, so I think I will start with that. Now, there is a guide there, assuming we want to talk to them. So maybe I'll consult. So we'll do the orange action. Now, I could do some character actions. I could do one of the actions in the card. But you can only do one action on the location, as I was starting to say before, and then you have to leave the location. So you always do one action and then move, or no actions and then move. But you only do one thing on your turn. So your turn is either moving or doing one action. Unless, of course, the book says the word continue. If it ends the entry with continue, that means you continue and you can do a different action. There might come times in the story where something might change, and their example is if you burn the bridge down, well, the bridge is gone, and if you come back to that location later, you just have to internalize, oh, I can't take that action anymore, I've burnt the bridge down. So just use that as it makes sense, because there's no way to track those things. So we are going to consult. So we'll go to orange, 205, and it says it's a 1 die check, so we'll take 1 die from the pool here, and roll it, and it's a star. I can put a star there, but I'm going to put instead it on the orange spot because it's an orange action, and that will get me a cube. It says, consult with the traveler about what makes the lotus special. Various sentients have different traditions. Some simply smell the lotus, while others eat it raw or brew it into a tincture. I've heard good and bad things. Getting 1 boost and continue. All right, so boost is another cube. These are boost cubes. And continue, so I can keep going. I want to recruit him. I can brew, smell, consume, pluck. I don't think there's anything that's going to help him. So let's brew. He said brew is what we want. Brew is what we're going to get. So 205 green. And it's a 1 die check. It's a time thing. I don't have any way to mitigate this, so my time goes down. Brew a mild tincture from the lotus roots. You grind the roots into a pulp with makeshift equivalents of a mortar and pestle, plus a hearty wad of saliva, resulting in a sparkling substance. Getting item 867. So it begins. We are going to have a collection of items. I got to choose wisely where I'm going to put it in my grid, because sometimes things might look at stuff around it. And it says, when placed, gain a cube on this card, and your character gains a cube and a health. Okay. So we're going to cube, and character gains a cube, and we gain a health. And there's a new action on this. So this is an item magic. Yeah, let's just show you real quick. And you can see it is worth 2 credits there if you find somewhere to sell it. And there's a consume action. So it's a yellow action. So I would consume using this item number. And it's a 1 die, so we know it takes 1 black die to consume it. And it says a taste of sparkling, swirling air inside the tiny jar. Replace this item with item 1103. So, do we want to consume it? Why not? Let's consume it. I mean, I gotta try, right? So, it is a 1 die check. Oh, another time die. Let's instead spend a cube to reroll challenge die, and it's a blank. So there are 1 symbol for each of the main faces on a dice. And if you can allocate them, then you don't have to suffer the consequences. A null just goes to the challenge dice, which is great. And if you had rolled a little recycle symbol, arrow circle thing, curved arrow, you return it back to the pool. So we are consuming it. It's what, 867? Story books. 867 yellow. Did I get that right? Yeah, 867 yellow. Oh, you know what? I don't have to do a thing, because it tells you right there what it is. So instead we get card 1103. 11. 4. 1103. This is the same thing. Okay, so 867 is going to go back. It's not quite the same thing. It's a little different. This is when placed, gain cube on each card in this column, and your character gains a cube. So I'll put it down here, and it'll get a cube, and my character gets a cube. And I cannot reserve it, so it's got to be in my inventory. And if I want, I can consume it again. But now that I've learned it might fill things, I might want to hang on to that. So I don't really have any climbing abilities, so let's just move to 206. Just a normal move, you just have to roll 1 die. Great, it's a star. And go on to 206. Oh, we found some sort of village. And you see there's a hazard here. Suffer 1 cold damage. Not good. A towering metal city is built along the edge of a cliff. So enter is always available. I can search, pick, assist, pickpocket, and force. There's like a treasure chest looking thing there. Assist might help me with a sentient, which could be a good thing. Sure, I like the idea of assisting. I do need to assist more things. Let's move this up a bit here. So we're going to assist with green 206. And it is a 1 die. I think it says assist Ascension heading towards the city. Ah, it's the time again. That's not good. Let's reveal. They're struggling to carry 2 large paintings that they proudly stole and would like to present to the Grand Museum of Ingot Town. A little conflicted, you provide a steadying pair of second hands. Gain $2. Okay. And go to City 522. Well, I got some money for it. Oh, nope. Five, 2, 2. All right, Ingot. This is a tall one. This is Ingot Town is full of cold metal buildings. So we are looking at essentially a diagram. So you may perform multiple different actions here, 1 per turn. So it's like a built-in continue. And you see there are actually different symbols relating to different places. So you kind of get in the view of the city and can kind of choose where to go. So I can enter, I can navigate over here, I can trade, offer, to whatever that is up there, access, or duel. Offer. What do I have to offer? I do still want to get Ascensions. So offering might be a good plan. Duel, there's some sketchy characters there. I can enter the store. Let's start with offer. So green, 522. It's a 1 die. Check. It is another star. Offer your assistance at the Thieves' Den. The silence falls over the Thieves' Den as you enter, but you're soon welcomed like an old friend. Choose one. Offer to procure a precious artifact. Learn how to open the lock more efficiently, or build a new life for yourself in the city. What do I want to do? Offer to procure precious artifacts. So like essentially I'll become a thief now? Learn how to open a lock. Build a new life for yourself in the city. Well, I've crash landed. I needed a group of sentients. Let's make some friends. Build a new life. So seeking a job, you ask around for employment opportunities. A local school is hiring. Gang structure 1280. Okay, so I have new cards. So the sideways cards don't fit in your grid. So let's put it up here. This is one place, put a cube on it. It's a service structure. It's worth 20 credits. If I want to buy the school. Use this structure only while you're on its location of origin. So I'm guessing in that city. And then I can balance, learn, charm, teach, gather, or duel. Well, I don't know if the cube helps at all. Let's gather. Maybe there's a good time I should do one of these built-in actions. Also, I can still do other stuff here, but let's do one of the mission goal actions. It is highly recommended that sometime early-ish in your game, you do something on your goal mission, because it'll give you usually a good start, or at least a good feeling for what you should be doing. So I can pivot, research, plead, and hone. So maybe let's research. And it is 1582. All right, 2 dice. Research how you can complete the mission. This action can be performed once per game. 2 returns. First contact is an important moment of any world, and you have the opportunity to share the stars with these cultures. Each sentient has unique preferences for convincing them to join you and keeping them with you. And you can draw them to you by activating runecasters. Gain the Book of Sentience, 1044. Here. Okay. So That's handy. I got a book. I can place when I do a purple action, I can place an hourglass, which would have been good earlier, and put a cube on the book. And you see there's lightning bolts there. That means any player could use these if you're playing in multiplayer. When placed, each player gains a cube on any card. Well, that would be me. So let's put a cube on the school. And I can spend a cube to view page 23 of the Book of Vantages until the end of this turn. So I can look at something, which might give me some help. So school, maybe it's time to go to school. Let's teach. Books, green, and 1280. It's a 4. Okay, you know what? I'm going to spend 2 green skills. So I've been collecting these skills. I haven't really used them yet. You can spend them to reduce how many dice you have to roll. So you spend 2. So I'm only rolling 2 dice. And it's a null and a heart, which I can't take. So it's going to go there. Teach an important lesson to the students. Gain 1 boost on this structure. Alternatively, you may create a living space within these walls. If so, the structure counts as a shelter for all relevant goals. Okay, sure. So it's a structure now. Doesn't say I can't. I have to leave. So I guess I'll gather. Maybe. And it's a yellow 1280. X, gather information to better serve your school. Okay, let's do 3. Return and a star. For your next action this turn, decrease the cost by X. Okay, we'll continue. So decrease the cost by 3. How about charm then? We'll do charm. Trying different things here. 1280. It's a 2, so next action, so I don't have to roll anything, it's just done. Charm a new student to join the school. The Ascension is eager to begin their studies, but first they must pay tuition. Gain X dollars. X is the number of boosts on the structure. Oh, I'm making money from teaching. Look at that. I have $5 now, or 5 credits. Okay. Interesting. Well, I guess it's time to move on. We can enter. I think we're going to enter this one. So we're going to enter, and it is 522. 4 dice. Okay. Well, that's a kind of a good sign, because now these are full. So everything resets. And then I'm going to have to roll 4. I'm going to spend 2 credits. I'm just rolling 2. Enter a locksmith shop. Double hearts. Oh no. That's not good. The locksmith seems significantly more protective of the locks they sell than their keys. Choose one or gain a boost. Oh, $6 for key. I have $5. Oh wait, no. I can spend 2 cubes to get $1. So I now have $6. So spend $6 for a key. Game item 918. What is this key for? And how come I can't find the essentials? Usually I'm like awash with essentials. Okay, interesting. It's a metal key. I can craft into an advanced item. Replace this with a universal key. Ooh. It's a green 5, so I think it's going to be a while before that's going to happen. Like, I don't know when that's going to happen. Okay, and I can spend 2. Put the cubes, get an orange credit. So for $8, I can hijack, and I can put yellow there. Okay, that's a good sign. So now I have a key. Let's do access. So normally I would have to leave location, but because it says you can do a number of actions, I'm just going to keep trying it. 522, yellow. Oh, it's a 6. Access a security store. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This might be the enemy. Okay, 2 go back. 1 goes here. 1 star goes here. 1 yellow goes here. And then I take a star damage. Okay. Half a dozen cameras and scanning devices grant you permission to enter the security store. The owner, however, is quite friendly. Okay, why does it cost so much? So I can steal a map showing various buildings around the world that may or may not have security systems. Or I could hack into their security systems to test for weaknesses as a favor. I have a... It's not a hack, it's hijack. I'm going to do the favor. Gang ability 1472. Wait, 14. It's not really helping me get my sentence. Which is hack ability. So I'm a hacker now. Okay. It says hack if facing a cavern barrier. The cost to leap, explore, befriend, modify, swap, or destroy is reduced to 1. Hack if facing a cavern barrier. Okay, interesting. I'm not sure how that's going to work. And yeah, okay, weird. And also gaining a morale. Thank you. And 4 crits. Okay. Offer. Trade navigate. Let's do navigate. Storybooks. Get out of here. 522. Ah, 5. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4. And it wipes everything. 5. Navigate through the busy city towards a museum. Well, that's not good. That goes there. That goes there. Puts a cube on it. I have a star here. I can spend the thing to re-roll parts. Time and star. This is not going well for me at all. All right, a towering museum boasts one of the most impressive collections in the world. Inside you find a vast variety. Choose one. Learn about metal culture, study a collection of arcade tapestries, or observe a rare animal that decides to accompany you. Oh, the animal, yeah. King Animal 854. It's probably not ascension, but a pet would help mitigate some dice, I think. 854. Intro. Okay. Gang Animal 854. He was just hanging out there. He's a vine stag. This was he walking down the street? Okay. So I can put green. So animals, he's got a symbol associated with him. I can do on a green action. I can assign a thing there to put a cube. If I have 2 cubes, I can spend those to make him loyal. So he's less likely to run away. Okay. All right, now maybe it's time I get out of here. Should I keep moving into the city? Let's keep moving into the city. So we're doing a... Oh, no, sorry. The move action and on 522. And I want to go north or east. Let's go north. 6 dice. I'm going to die. I don't think... Like, one more of anything, I'm dead. This might be a shortest playthrough I've had yet. Climb north after passing through the city. I'm going to have to do it. Okay, 3... Null. What can I do with these? I don't think there's much of anything. Spin a cube and roll. Nothing. Okay. I mean, there's nothing I can do. I can view page. Nowhere I can put a star. The last cube. Yep. Oh, well. Okay. That did not last very long. Well, it was probably the shortest playthrough of Vantage that you'll find online. I'm dead. I lose that, and it's gone. I guess just luck of the... Oh, no, hold on. I can put a thing there. Get a cube, but then the other one's dead. Can't assign anywhere. Nope. Okay. Well, that is it. So I hope that gave you at least a little bit of a sample of what not to do in this game. But sometimes it's luck, and I was rolling a lot of big actions before I had built up much of a tableau yet. I really didn't get anywhere. There's some interesting things like the school. I've never taught in the school before. Okay, all right. Well, let us continue with the review. But before we do, I'm going to hide some cards here. So if you're just jumping here from a time skip from the beginning because you want to avoid spoilers, I've cleared away everything after I lost very early. The quickest game I've ever had, and not in a good way. And we're going to address that during the review. But just so you know, it did not go well for me. Things were having fun. I was enjoying it. It was a cool story, but then didn't have stats to keep it going. All right, so let's get down to the review. First, we're going to take a look at some of the physical components in the game. Now, mind you, Stegmaeir Games has offered upgrade packs to most of the components. When I bought the game, I went just with the basic game. This is what you get in the basic game, and I didn't feel the need to buy upgrades. But if you are interested, they do sell wooden tokens instead of these cardboard ones. And they do sell metal coins in these weird shapes. Which, some games you have lots of these tokens, some games you don't have lots of these tokens. I didn't feel the need to upgrade, but if you love this game, you might want to. You did not see in my playthrough earlier these little plastic doohickeys that will help hold the cards. Let's see if I can find the card to slot in here. And they allow you to look at it, but no one else. Because when you're playing multiplayer, no one else is supposed to look at what you have. And there's a bunch of those. The game also comes with, an organizer, essentially a cardboard organizer built in here, where everything is nicely kept in there. These stacks of cards do kind of flip and lay down. I do recommend that you put either some static tape or an elastic or something around them, because they will shift during travel. Even with all the books on top. But everything does fit into this nice little box. There's these little trays that fit in there too. And, it's nice to have at least some, level of organization that comes with the game, especially when you're going to be going through a lot of cards. They could have made the space a little bit bigger because I have bigger fingers, bigger hands, but it suffices just fine. And so I think the organizational stuff is good. While the tokens are small, slightly thin, they're serviceable. The cubes are fine. The money's fine. The dice are quite nice. There is a bigger skill dice with nice engraved, the colored symbols for each of the different skills. And then the dice rolling the most, which is the skill dice, the test dice. These black ones are quite nice too, all engraved. The board, the track, the dice pool, it's a little thin, a little chintzy. It's fine. Tons of books. The amount of paper in this game is just unreal. The box is extremely heavy. And it's all put together quite well. If you missed it during the beginning, I did mention that they do offer a errata pack. which has 16, 3, it's got like 19 cards in here and some stickers to fix up issues that they had. And I will not cover the spoiler pack, which is part of the game, and you may or may not uncover some of the aspects of this in the game. But I will just say, I will not reveal, but I will kind of let you know that there is lots of activities you can do in the game, stuff that you find in this world, and these cards are part of that. So as far as components go, the cards are a little on the thin side, and everything's like a little on the cheaper end. The fact there's just so much of it, and at still a decent price point, I think is a pretty good achievement there, and it just shows what a big developer can do. I know Jamey Stegmaeir has spent a lot of years working on this, and it shows. He's built a really in-depth, rich world here, and that really comes through the artwork. Every card has unique art on it. The smaller cards are fairly simple, but they still get kind of what you're looking at across. And then the vantages themselves. So you're essentially always looking north, and north is over there, by the way. You're always looking north, and you have that view. You don't see what's left or right or behind you, and but this informs your decision. You might see a mountain off in the distance and head in that direction. I do find there's a tendency for players to just all go north because you have some idea of what's up there, but you might decide to go back or forward. There might be reasons for you to do that. There's some clues with some of the technology in the books that might let you get an idea of what's around you in a wider scope, or send you in certain directions. Certain quests or characters you meet might say certain directions that you may want to go in. So the art does a great job at really captivating the world. And even though you're only looking that one direction, the world feels full of life. It does not feel like you crash land on it, which is a little strange, but it does really show that it is a lived world of a lot of vibrant characters and beings on there. So art well done. Graphic design, again, is also quite good. It's very simple. Just 6 different colors and symbols, in case you're colorblind. The symbols will help with that. And it just keeps it very simple. Each card has 6 options. 6 options all the time. And then maybe some movement options of what to encounter. And all those options are in the book. Now, I don't know if this is part of the graphic design or maybe the theme discussion or not, but some of the one-word descriptors of what the action is don't always seem to align with what happens, right? It's kind of the Mass Effect problem, where if you ever played that video game, there's a couple times where you're like, oh, I'm going to, I want to say do this so maybe like some job, like a man's pet, or some alien's pet jumps on you, and the option is push the slobbering dog off of you, or tell off the owner for letting him jump on you, and you're like, okay, I want to push him off. And then it's like, you picked the bad option. You drop kick the dog and send him flying. It's not usually quite as bad as that, but the things that happen are not always what you expected to happen based on the word. And that can be a little misleading sometimes. Sometimes it's a matter of things will turn out the way you thought, but sometimes it's just the word could have been a better word for what it was. And maybe it's because they limited the action words down enough that some of them might interact in different ways. They didn't leave as much of a broader English language capability to interpret things. So maybe that's part of it. And it's only a very minor complaint that really comes up. Normally it rarely comes up that it turns bad. It almost always comes up that you're not necessarily going to do what you want to do. There might be, there's a box right in the picture, right in front of me, I wanted to open it. And there's an option that says open. So I thought, oh, I can open the box. I choose open, and it's like, the game's like, oh, you walked through the wilderness and found a door in a house, and you opened it and went in. I'm like, that's not, I wanted to open the thing in front of me, not some random other thing, like something's a little disconnected that way. And that will keep popping up. So as long as you have a tolerance for things happening and go along with the flow, it's fine. Because you are basically just making choices. There's not a whole lot of game here. There's a little bit of mitigation in terms of assigning dice on things, but it pretty much plays itself in that way. You do have to make some decisions and maybe decipher some things and uncover some things, but it's very minor. It's more a storytelling, role-playing type of game with a little bit of luck thrown in with some dice. As far as the dice mechanisms go specifically, again, it's pure luck. You could roll a whole bunch of the blank penalty dice, and they just get put aside, and you get away scot-free, and you took some great action. Or, like my last playthrough, you don't know how dangerous actions are going to be, and you roll multiple 6-die actions back to back, and it just, early in the game, and it just scoops out your entire stats, and you die. Now there's a little more to it. Like, you have to read the entry in the storybook. I decided to keep it short and not go through that, just because I wanted to keep the game going. And, I wanted to get the review, to a point where I could actually talk about the game. And I want to give you a sample of how the game played. So I did not continue that option, but that's fine. Moving on with the player interaction, there's player interaction in the sense of like those lightning bolts where you can assign dice to other people's boards to help mitigate dice. You are trying to mitigate dice as a whole, so sort of like multiple tableaus of dice. And because you're sharing a pool, you will want to occasionally take those bigger actions if you can, to like clear people's boards to make room for other people. It's a minor thing. It's positive player interaction. But other than that, you're not trading items. You're not, you can't show each other your card. You can only talk about it. You are not helping each other in any real specific way. So you're living other people's adventures through them as if you were like on a walkie-talkie or on a cell phone, talking with them and hearing about what they're doing. But it's, so your skills are kind of helping them a little bit, hence the dice assignment. But it doesn't really, there's no real interactions. So it's probably better as a solo game from that standpoint. Complexity, very light. There's almost no rules, and most of the game walks you through it kind of as you play. So that's well done. And there's just so much in here in order, like for the amount of complexity, it doesn't feel like you've ran out of options. Like there's still so much to explore. Mechanisms and choices, the mechanisms again are very light. There are still good choices, only because you are having fun exploring and doing things. If you enjoy that sort of exploration and trying different things and experiencing the world, I think you'll find that your choices are fun and impactful and storytelling. But if you feel like if you're more lean towards wanting some puzzle to work through, then you're going to find this very empty and very lacking in what the core gameplay is. It's very much a storytelling game, or you're not becoming the stories, but it's telling you a story as you play based on your choices. So if you enjoy that sort of thing in RPGs, then that'll be better for you. Tactical versus strategic, you are making what sometimes feels like random choices, just hoping you get closer to your objective. Doesn't always work out for you. You do have some long-term plans usually, that might change. You might decide you might get a different mission or something that changes your destiny and decide, I'm going to do that instead. And that's fine. That's just part of storytelling. There's enough flexibility in the game that you can kind of figure that out. And there's some helpers, to help kind of get you to steer you in the right path. Although it's not always clear where to get them. And hint, do your mission actions relatively early in your game because they will help you. And finally, luck. Yep, tons of luck. Talked about that already. Dice rolls, are lucky. You may not always be able to assign dice. Of course, knowing what the actions you can do or how many dice you have to roll for those actions is also weirdly lucky. You always look. I'm only looking ahead of me, like during my last playthrough, and I thought, hey, let's turn right and go over there. And then the book confronts me with, guess what? It was a big mountain beside you, and you couldn't see it because you're looking forward. Now roll 6 dice. Yeah, so there's some luck, but again, it's this type of storytelling game. You can kind of hand wave over that and just play it like it is. You roll a critical fail in an RPG. That's part of the story. It's part of the fun. The length, 4 players, it's very long. And you don't get very far, it feels like. It's fun listening to people's stories, but it's much better with less players. And a game, if you don't stumble across what you're looking for, or if you're very lucky, it could be extremely short to, like in my last gameplay, when I died very quickly. You may even be able to find your mission objective and accomplish that very quickly. Or if you want, you could even opt into completing the epic ending. And of course, there's many epic endings in the game. And that could turn the adventure into a multi, 3-4 hour solo long adventure where you do all kinds of fun stuff. And if you like that kind of world, I highly recommend you, take a Saturday afternoon or something and try to go for an epic victory, because that's when you really start to experience some of the depth of this world and some of the heights of this world, and just how vast this world is. Vantage is truly a massive game. It is an achievement to what you can do with storytelling in a game and exploration in a game. No, it's not for everybody. If you like something a little more confrontational, or if you like more mechanisms, this is not going to be for you. But if you enjoy going along with the ride and having a great time while you do it, this is truly an achievement. And Jamey Stegmaeir has really put his years of hard work to good use here, and I highly recommend it for that. Upgraded components, not so much, but the game is a lot of fun, and I've been thoroughly enjoying it. So that's it for me. Thanks again for watching. Please like and subscribe. It really helps the channel grow, and we'll see you next time.